Hello and welcome to a Python and Django live code hangout. Today we'll be working on the Western Friend project. And I'm going to take a look at our backlog to see where we are. We're working on a minimum viable relaunch of a site that's originally developed with Drupal, and we're rewriting it with Python and Django. We're pretty far along in the development process, but it's hard to tell how much more time this is going to take. We're going to try to have this ready in the next couple of months. But I've been saying that for a while now. Nonetheless, we're in the staging phase where we're actually deploying this site and testing it with the full breadth of content, and not so much doing feature development, but we do have a few issues. So if you'd like to check out this project, I'll post the source code URL here in the chat on YouTube. I've got the project cloned locally. We'll open a terminal. I've got Docker running in the background. I've recently switched to using Docker for the local development so that we could harness some of the advanced features of Postgres. I think I have, I might need to install Poetry actually. I didn't get that set up. That's weird. I'm having troubles with Xcode. What the heck? So I didn't install Xcode, I guess. Without using symlinks. Okay. I might need to use Python. All right, well, this begins with some troubleshooting and installation error. Right permission. All right, let's install Brew. I just created a new account on my computer so that I could have isolated development. So let's try this. Just make sure everything's correct. And one moment. Okay, I'll be right back while this is installing. Or not, failing to install. Man. I'm gonna get some tea anyway, I'll be right back. All right, I'll need to set up a scene for that away from keyboard. So let's find out what's going on here. Okay. Yeah. So that's going to should really be done with group permission. All right. Let's just make sure we're up to date. I guess they're assuming a single user development computer? I don't know. Most of my development is switching over to this user account, to software stuff, and then I'm separating out other hobbies and personal things in different accounts on my local computer. So my mind is just more clear when I sit down and I'm doing this or that, and this has this own environment. Okay. So back to got Homebrew fixed, and PyEnv needs to be installed so that we can set up a specific Python environment. Weird. This is not the ideal solution. This is assuming a single user computer. That's not the case. These are bad instructions. Or I could truly install it in my local user environment. That would make more sense. But /user/local, as far as I understand, is shared across users. Maybe I'm mistaken about how that folder is. Oh, goodness. Jeez. What I can do is give myself add myself to the admin group. I think it's just a Unixy thing, but let me double check. Just any group will matter. User group added, it should work. Let's see, but maybe there's command line. Let's see. Just said that. I'm in the admin group. Okay. So I just need to change the group. Everything user local. For Linux, there's probably the same command, is it? Let's see. Okay. Capital R. Oh, I should have seen that there. Okay. I have to sudo that. All right, that's hopefully. Yeah. No. Okay, different one. Permission denied, but also no such file or directory. Oh, let's find out a better way of doing this. Homebrew didn't work very well, did it? Try one more time. I'll try with sudo as well. That shouldn't matter. It's weird that the recursive one didn't take root. All right, I couldn't sign in. Ah, another permission denied error. Weird. All right. What are we at? 311? It's 311 now, right? $312 alpha. Oh, coming up though. Still need to install poetry, so I'm sort of popping these off the stack. I don't know if this is actually working. Sounds like it is working. It's like building it. Don't use. Let me just double check. Good. All right. Hopefully we can install poetry. This is just so we can start developing. Maybe poetry was wrong. Move. Once it's installed, though, it's pretty reliable and pretty useful. Yeah. Okay, looks good. Tilde, I keep forgetting what a tilde is on here. Tilde. Something's up here, something's up here. Tilde. There we go. Good. All right. What are we in? 30 minutes in? What's our time? 23 minutes. Not bad, not bad. Gotta get that dev environment set up. This is a new user. I hadn't done that before on this user. Again, I'm just trying to switch my coding life and my other hobbies and creativity lives so I can have more clean state of mind and environment. Like I'm not getting the tooling confused and my taskbar cluttered and all that good stuff. Okay, so we should be able to hop into that shell. There it goes. Now we can do the Python. See, so we got to run Docker Compose from and within the app directory. And that's going to run our sort of environment, our database essentially. So we're in here now in the app directory. So we've got all our features separated as Django apps. And now that we're running here, let's see what we can do today. Something small since I've just gotten this development environment running. Nav bar and drop down menus. We can take a look at this and see if I can finish this task. Its pull request is in progress over here. And I'll post the issue on chat. Here we go. If you want to follow along. We do have several issues that are I've labeled as good first issues and help wanted if you want to get involved and learn or improve your software development, Python, Django development, also Wagtail, as well as contribute to an open source project. Those are available. So what I've essentially done is set up a Django management command that creates our initial site structure. Just stepping back a little bit, Wagtail is a content management system, and it uses a tree model to place all of the content, starting at a root page or node, and then sort of building in there and branching. Everything's got to have a parent, and it all stems from the root. And then you have leaf nodes and such. We've got a navigation menu, which is sort of off in its own world, but it can contain links to all these pages and external pages and things like that. So I've got a management command that creates the initial site structure, which is our core pages we know need to exist before importing all the bulk of the other content. And it also scaffolds this navigation menu. So we have a good idea of fairly good idea of the site structure and navigation structure at this point. And so my task is to make sure that I've got these recent updates. I'll just verify this issue and that I've done the correct structure. This is the top level menu, and it expands to child menu items that you can actually click on to navigate to a new page. And there's, I think, a couple of these that we're deferring to a later stage. And I have to make sure I've got issues for creating those. So we've got Docker running. And for some reason, not seeing my shell there, but that's okay. We'll need to migrate. Get our initial database structure in place. And this pull request there's only one file here, and essentially this is the management command that scaffolds our initial site structure. And I created a couple of placeholder pages that were missing, or it looks like maybe one, or changing the title of one or two. And then I've got navigation structures here. So if I run this scaffolding command, there it goes. So by default, it would have shown a welcome to Wagtail. And now we'll open it here. It's a bit clunky. Now we've got a basic site structure that has several pages and recent issues. All of these have been kind of scaffolded. There's no content. So things are not working yet in terms of there's nothing to navigate to aside from these empty placeholders. Okay. So let's double check here. I've got recent issues, archive issues, future issues, and books. Recent issues, archive issues, future issues, and books. Okay, so I've got to change the wording there. That will fix. All right, so we'll open this content migration folder under the management command, scaffold initial content. And we come down here to the menus. Magazine and books is the top level link. Title, it's actually just a, whoops, drop down. So it's not actually a link. It expands to reveal the children. Archive issues. Okay, so instead of calling it deep archive, I'm surprised. Oh, this is why. This is why. On the wrong branch. There we go. Okay. And the problem is now I've run this scaffolding command. Well, let's see. I've got recent issues, archive issues, future issues, and books. other content, library and media, newsletter, index page, and podcast index page. I think for right now, I'm going to just create these as static pages. That way we have the full navigation structure in place. And there will be continuation issues, tasks to perhaps create a feature for podcasts. But for right now, they'll be manually curated. I think that's our working agreement. So let's go ahead and come back up here where we're going to add some pages. Our home page is kind of like the site root in a way. Everything stems from the home pages. So this is funny. I'm surprised I didn't have that. This is already done. Essentially news. We'll see if it works. If not, we'll come back to it. Okay, so it's just news index page. Well, it is installed. This is the weird thing. It doesn't detect the poetry environment out of the box. It installs it globally. All right, so I do need to do this. I think it's just that command, right? All right, let's try that again. Push those changes up. We'll add this podcast as a placeholder page. Where did I? Oh yeah, I'm on the, if I come over here, or actually close that. there's that. So what I'll need to do, well, let's just read through it again. So extra news, podcasts, memorials, good. About us, mission and history, board of directors, directories, and contact us, good. Events, online worship, Western events, and other events. Subscribe, donate, subscribe magazine, subscribe newsletter, donate, and help wanted. All right, I'll double check one more time these titles are correct. One more time. Magazine/books, recent issues, archive issues, future issues, books, other content, library/media, extra/news, podcasts and memorials, about us, mission and history. Okay, I just did these. All right. So essentially this, and we do have issues to continue that. Right, I've created a static podcast page, good. And a continuation issue for the news importer. All right, I believe we can migrate over here, and with those recent changes, mark this as ready for review. And call it good. All right. Welcome to a recap of today's live code hangout. Today we've been working on the Western Friend website on pull request number 558, adding new navigation menu scaffolding or improving that. What that looks like on the front end is essentially a navigation menu along for the main website header, consisting of top level drop-down menus with sub items. In the previous version of this navigation menu, I had left out some of the items, waiting on some questions to be resolved and potential features to be developed. We had a subsequent review and decided on the specific improvements. And so we have a issue number 552 that describes the current desired structure and made a couple of notes about unimplemented features and how to handle those, specifically the podcasts. We're just going to use a static page and list podcast episodes rather than developing a new feature for those. But the news items will be included in a future development. So essentially the current code reflects the desired menu structure. So let's just take a quick look at the code. It consists of two main parts. Wagtail content management system uses a hierarchical page structure. It's like a tree, and we have a root node, and everything else is children of that and children of children, or all of them are ancestors of the root node. Our root node is the home page. That's the front page that you visit when you come to the main root level of the site, the welcome page in this case. And we scaffold a bunch of other content and then create a navigation menu that lets you hop to certain key areas of this site. So these are essentially what we call pages. I had to call them WF pages because Wagtail already has a page class. And pages basically have a title. So what we did is just created mostly pages, and I should maybe add this show in menus option to the ones that we've created recently, even though it's not required. I'll just add that. Well, I'll add that after the fact, but this is a Wagtail metadata. They don't have really a way of defining menus. It's just sort of this artifact that's kind of hanging out there in the Wagtail page model, but not used in any way by the framework. Since I've designed or developed our own navigation menu setting, I'm not really relying on this metadata. So we'll continue that. I might add that again off stream. Once we've added these pages, we then look for the home page, which we've gotten a reference to above, and we just add them as direct children, typically, of the home page. There are some maybe that are not direct children of the home page. So that's how we scaffold the content. Then, to create the navigation menu, after adding all the site pages and kind of getting the content ready, we can then create our menu items, which is basically using the Wagtail stream field. And it consists of a couple of types, but we're mainly linking to internal pages here. These are all pages that are part of our tree, although our navigation feature does allow external pages. So we basically define drop-down menus for each of these sections, and the drop-down menu item has a title and several menu items that are actually the links that you can click to visit. Here's the recent issues page. There's no content imported yet. This is just the bare bones. So each of the menu items is a stream field value of a particular type. We call it the mock menu block. It's basically here as a mock because it's a stream block and it has a couple of options. I just created it here in memory rather than, it's not really instantiated otherwise. And it consists of pages. Each page link has a title and basically a reference to one of the previously created pages. So that's about it for the data structure. I just repeat that for each of the dropdowns. For the events dropdown, subscribe, donate dropdown. And then we just create those as a list of navigation items. I could have done that all in place here, but we would have this really big data structure, and I kind of wanted to make it a little easier to understand what was going on. So we just essentially combine those as a list of tuples and pass them into our navigation menu setting. And our site is basically the site that was created at the beginning of this scaffolding script. Wagtail CMS supports multi-site deployments out of the box. In our case, we're only using one site, Western Friend. But if you have the same content architecture for multiple websites, you can serve them all from one Wagtail instance. That's a pretty cool feature. So here I've just created a navigation menu for our main site, and then we save it. So that's our content scaffolding and navigation menu in a nutshell. And today's session focused on some improvements to that to finalize this stage of the navigation development. Well, thanks for your time, and I hope you're having a good day. If you'd like to get involved with this project, you can stop by github.com/westernfriend. Have a great day.